This year, we honor 8 alumnae of St. Teresa's College, Quezon City, women of steadfast faith, selfless service, and visionary spirit, whose exemplary lives of witnessing gospel values and embodying a missionary spirit for social justice, solidarity, and peace make them worthy of recognition and emulation. With heartfelt joy, we present the 2022 Teresa's Light Awardees. Maria Isabel Mangosing Besinga, or Mariles, faced health challenges early in life. As a teenager, she was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, a chronic autoimmune disorder which affects the voluntary muscles of the body, especially those that control the eyes, mouth, and limbs. But this did not deter Mariles from being an honor student in STCQC and the University of the Philippines, where she graduated with a fine arts degree. While she excelled in the corporate world as creative director for SGV, using her skills in graphic design and advertising, she also helped to build the Church of God, both in the physical sense and family sense. With her banker husband Rudy, she helped to fund and build the Jesus Lord of Divine Mercy Church in Mapayapa Village, Quezon City, where they live. Through the Couples for Christ chapter in their village, they helped married couples renew their faith and strengthen their commitment to raise their families grounded in gospel values. Mariles facilitated the Kasalang Bayang program in their community and also helped organize the Christian Life program in nearby communities. She used her artistic talent in the service of God and His people. She designed the coffee table books for the 25th anniversary of Couples for Christ and for the 100th anniversary of the Society of the Divine Word, or SVD, in the Philippines. After one of her numerous falls, she could no longer go to their church, so the parish priest asked her to make the parish newsletter, which later evolved into a pro-life paper. Many people think that the greatest achievement of Mariles is bringing up 3 talented and creative daughters who have imbibed their mother's faith, missionary spirit, and generosity in using their talents to serve and praise God. They were active in Kids for Christ, Singles for Christ, and currently in Mission Families of Christ, as well as in the choir and youth ministry in their parish. Maria Isabel Mangosing Besinga is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Family Life and Parish Community Service. Nonette Mina is a lawyer by profession. However, her desire to serve God and the community was already evident while she was still a student at STCQC and UP. Her commitment to evangelization deepened when she became a leader of the basic ecclesial communities in her parish in Las Piñas. She accompanied the parish priest visit sick parishioners in their homes and give them the sacraments. The cancer prognosis of her mother in 1992 led her to her devotion to the Divine Mercy. To have a more flexible schedule, she went into private law practice in 1994. In 2000, she also gave this up and engaged in parish work full-time. In October 2001, she received the Outstanding Parishioner Award. In 2009, Nonette participated in intensive training on the Divine Mercy Apostolate and joined the core group for their parish. She was later appointed as a diocesan lay coordinator to oversee 24 parishes. They conduct training for the new Evangelization and Mercy, or TNEM, for adults and the youth. Nonette shares that devotion to the Divine Mercy is shown through prayer and words of forgiveness, as well as corporal and spiritual works of mercy. Their feeding program for the street children incorporates teaching of the values of cleanliness, discipline, studying hard, and keeping alive their dreams of a better future. Nonette does not take credit for any of her accomplishments. Her humility and great love for God make her a most suitable instrument in spreading God's light and love to the world. Nonette Mina is a Teresa's Light Awardee for parish and community service. Dr. Cynthia Fernandez-Dunn has devoted both her professional and personal life in the service of the Lord. As a student at STCQC, she taught catechism to students of Ramon Magsaysay High School. Later, as a medical student of the UP College of Medicine, she volunteered for medical missions in underserved communities. Upon becoming a doctor specializing in obstetrics and gynecology, she could have chosen to migrate to the USA or establish a private practice. However, Cynthia chose to stay and join the government-run Dr. Jose Fabella Memorial Hospital as its first gynecologic oncologist. As an active member of the Speakers Bureau of the Philippine Cancer Society, Cynthia promoted cancer prevention and early detection through community lectures and mobile clinics. She also joined surgical missions organized by the DOH to perform operations on indigent patients in remote communities. Cynthia worked with the DOH in training the trainers for the basic emergency obstetric and newborn care program to transform rural health units into competent birthing centers. In 2009, she helped the Philippines adopt WHO standards for essential intrapartum and newborn care, or EINC, or Unang Yakap, which aims to make the birthing experience have more positive outcomes for both the mother and child. Cynthia's dedication to community service and outreach activities was recognized by the Philippine Obstetrical and Gynecological Society in 2015 and by the Philippine Society of Oncologists in 2019. Outside of her work as a doctor, Cynthia has taken the time to nurture her faith and family. She and her husband George joined the Buklod ng Pag-ibig community and led a group of couples in Bible study and prayer. She served in the Holy Spirit Parish Pastoral Council. Cynthia has been a loving and caring daughter, wife, mother, and grandmother. Dr. Cynthia Fernandez-Dunn is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Science and Medicine. True to her name, Maria Angeles or Mayet La Peña is a guiding angel who helps the young people whose lives she touches to realize their full potential through education, both inside and outside the classroom. While enrolled in a psychology course at UP, she collaborated with her professors to indigenize the practice of psychology. Their major output is the Panukat ng Ugali at Pagkatao assessment tool, which is still in use today. She later pursued a career in education, teaching for more than 3 decades in premier universities in the country. She also promoted research geared towards improving the welfare of Filipino families. Her research led to her personal involvement with SOS Children's Villages Philippines, first as a consultant and later as president of the Board of Trustees. SOS is a volunteer organization that provides family-based parental care for children who have been orphaned or abandoned. During the pandemic, Mayet has kept in touch with the house mothers through Zoom catch-ups. Mayet has also been serving in the Senate of SOS International. After retiring from the academe in 2014, Mayet joined the Phoenix Publishing House as its chief technical advisor on global resources for assessment, curriculum, and evaluation. She has since assumed the role of director, leading the development of achievement-based assessments that are closely aligned with the learning competencies set by the Department of Education for the K-12 levels. She has also initiated the formulation of battery assessments for entry into high school, senior high school, and college. Mayette's activities have focused on mentorship and stewardship. She has done this unconditionally with the intention of sharing as much as she can with her colleagues as well as her 3 daughters. She is truly a living example of letting her light shine and being a blessing to others. Maria Angeles Guanzon La Peña is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Education and Family Life. Pilar Fatima Sibal grew up in the big Sibal household of 9 children, which taught her at an early age how to deal with all kinds of personalities. The Sibal family, though large, was a close-knit one. Her faith in and love for God were instilled by their parents. Penny's interior life was also guided by the ICM education that she received at St. Teresa's College, Quezon City and Baguio City. Penny's father, Dr. Ernesto Sibal, had opened Alimar's bookstore in 1958 and pioneered the publishing of textbooks for and by Filipinos. After college studies in the United States, Penny helped her mother and older siblings run the family business. After working for a publishing house in New York, Penny rejoined the family business as managing director of Phoenix Learning Journey and later became executive vice president. Through her interactions with many private school administrators, she realized that many of them belong to religious organizations and are not fully equipped with the skills needed to run their schools. She spearheaded the establishment of the Phoenix Educational Foundation and the Education Learning Development Academy, or ELDA. Since 2007, almost 1,000 school leaders, including those from 16 mission schools in different parts of the country, have been trained to improve their management and leadership skills. Penny went on to lead the development of the Philippine Catholic School Standards, or PCSS, to benchmark and set standards for Catholic school education in the country. Many school administrators who are part of religious organizations have commented that it took Penny, a layperson, to lead this collaboration with the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. In late 2020, Penny built upon the existing Nurturing School Program, or NSP, to introduce the Kaagapay Coaching Service to help private school leaders meet the challenges posed by the COVID pandemic and create the next normal in education. Beyond enhancing the soft skills of school administrators, Penny has also helped resource-poor parochial schools secure laboratory and other facilities. Penny delights in being a mother to her 3 children, whom she has showered with the same love and compassion as her parents did to her. Pilar Fatima Sibal is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Education. Zenaida Sikat Edwards let her light shine ever since she arrived in Sydney, Australia, after accepting a job offer there. During her early years, Zeni devoted much time to fighting racial discrimination, promoting inclusive multiculturalism, and highlighting the contributions of migrants to Australian society. She later became deeply involved in the promotion of human rights awareness in Australia and helped to organize the International Conference for Human Rights Education in 2018. She is the current president of the Australian Council for Human Rights Education. She used to serve as a director of the Peace Program of UN Association of Australia, where she built up a strong team of young volunteers to help carry out activities like the release of doves on UN Peace Day and a student conference on anti-bullying. Zeni advocates gender equality and women empowerment as integral parts of creating more inclusive societies. She constantly promotes greater appreciation of cultural diversity and how this strengthens social cohesion, starting at the family level. In 2020, she served as a member of the advisory board for the Inclusive Narrative Project, which suggests how shared values among different groups in Australian society can be built on to forge a common identity and vision for the future. Zenny also becomes a steward of God's creation through the love she developed for Australian flora. As a way of combating the loneliness she felt in her early years as an immigrant, she began collecting plants that reminded her of home and other unusual plants. As her plants began to multiply, she sold these and donated the proceeds to community charities. Her cottage garden became a showcase for indigenous and colonial plants. She has written books on these plants as well as the architectural heritage of her local area of Ku-ring-gai in Sydney. She earned her PhD in Architectural History in 2006. On Australia Day 2017, Zenny was given the Local Citizen of the Year award for her contributions to the community, including preservation of its cultural and architectural heritage. Zenny was awarded the Order of Australia Medal at the 2020 Queen's Birthday Honours Ceremony. The award was for her service to the community and heritage preservation as a key to future sustainability. Zenaida Sikat Edwards is our Teresa's Light Awardee for public service. Esmeralda Ortiz Luis Lin, or Merly, a financial and business guru, is also a woman of faith. After obtaining her PhD in finance in 1982, Merly joined the Zarb School of Business in Hofstra University in Long Island, New York. She was CV Star Distinguished Professor of Finance from 2005 to 2011 and is now Professor Emerita. She was a Vice Dean from 2010 to 2012 and received the University Distinguished Service Award in 2012. She mentored many junior faculty members, especially women, to be successful in their teaching and research. She was well known for her research on corporate governance, including the role of women in business and even the role of faith in investments. Merly chaired and still sits on the board of the Institute for Women's Policy Research, a think tank that undertakes and disseminates independent research to inform federal, state, and local policies that directly impact the economic and social well-being of women from diverse backgrounds. Going beyond research and academe, Merly co-founded the Global Share Resource Foundation with a number of multicultural professionals based in New York City. Their objective is to help the poor respond to opportunities that will improve their lives by partnering with other nonprofit organizations. Their assistance has reached Ecuador, Nicaragua, Zambia, and the Philippines, among others. Merly also led the launching of the Box of Joy Ministry in 2015. Since then, close to 300,000 children in developing countries who may have never received a Christmas gift have been blessed by a box of joy. Merly is worthy of recognition for her ability to weave finance, faith, family, and mentorship into an otherwise highly technical career, and for providing research and financial support to those who have limited opportunities in life. Esmeralda Ortiz Luis Lin is our Teresa's Light Awardee for public service. Born into a large family, Teresa Isada Gutierrez, or Techi, learned to be mindful of others, putting their welfare before her own. Armed with a business economics degree from UP, Techi started her career with LBC Express. As head of the company's international division, Techi established LBC branches in many parts of the world, where there are many overseas Filipino workers. After leaving LBC in 1990, Techi set up her own logistics firm and experienced many setbacks and challenges, which she was eventually able to overcome with her positive, never say die attitude. Today, A-Best has over 100 branches and 60 acceptance counters, 700 employees delivering in over 40 provinces, and these numbers are still growing. From their initial niche of delivering remittances from OFWs to their families, A-Best now caters also to online sellers who need their products delivered nationwide. A-Best is proudly Filipino-owned and powered by female leaders holding their own in a male-dominated industry. With their entrepreneurial prowess, Techi also put up businesses that showcased the best products of the Philippines. She launched Promdi Deli and Promdi Kainan in Metro Manila malls, which sold delicious delicacies from many provinces. She also set up Philmart stores in Vietnam and Cambodia that bring Filipino goodies to our OFWs. Techi did not build just a company. She built lives and inspired her co-workers to reach their full potential. Her secretary at LBC became the president and COO of LBC many years later. Her maid, whom she brought to Cambodia, is now the manager of the Philmart store in Phnom Penh. Techi has remained humble and forgiving. She inspires others, including her 3 children, to pray as if everything depended on God, but to work as if everything depended on them. Teresa Isada Gutierrez is our first Teresa's Light Awardee for Business and Industry. In marking the 50th anniversary of the proclamation of Saint Teresa of Avila as the first woman doctor of the Church, Pope Francis said that the flame that Jesus lit in Teresa continues to shine in this world, which is always in need of courageous witnesses capable of breaking down any wall, whether physical, existential, or cultural. We have just virtually met 8 STCQC alumni who crossed the boundaries that had been set for them by society, or even their own physical limitations, in their desire to reflect God's light and love into the lives of the people around them, especially those less fortunate than them.